Ecology is the study of interactions among organisms and their environment. It includes the full range of life from tiny bacteria to processes that span the entire planet. So now let's talk about other species that we find on the grasslands. And joining me is Lynn Dybel with the Wildlife Program Management Department for the Arapahoe and Roosevelt National Forest and the Pawnee National Grassland as well. Lynn, thank you for joining us.
Hi, Dave.
Good to see you. Good to see you this morning. So what other birds might people see here at the grasslands?
Well, in addition to the birds we've already talked about, we can find magnificent raptors out on the grasslands, including right here on our own Pawnee Buttes. You can find golden eagles, ferruginous hawk, and Swainson's hawk. And if it's songbirds you're into, we have some beautiful meadowlarks.
We can hear them now.
Yep, we can hear the meadowlarks, loggerhead shrike, as well as lark bunting.
So how about animals? You know, we were talking a lot about birds, but there's a ton of animals out
there
here
are.
too, right?
You can find the full suite of mammals, reptiles, amphibian, and fish. So for example, as you're driving along on your way into the grasslands, you're likely to see pronghorn alongside of the road, and they are one of the fastest animals on earth, reaching speeds of up to 70 miles per hour. And
wow.
That's pretty fast. So
That's
if you're
pretty good.
driving along and you happen to see one, take a quick glance at your speedometer and see how fast they're going.
You might get a ticket if you're
Yeah.
keeping up with the pronghorns, right?
Yeah,
That's
and a less common animal that you might see would be the swift fox. They're nocturnal, so they're mostly out in the evenings. But badger are also another common
really? I didn't know
mammal
that.
that you would find on the grasslands.
Okay. I know there's one mammal in particular that is especially associated with the grasslands.
Yes, Dave, that would be the prairie dog. Prairie dogs are considered a keystone species because they are key to the functionality of a healthy grassland system. There's thought to be over 150 different species that are dependent on prairie dogs for food, shelter, and habitat creation.
Now tell us a little bit about the relationship of the prairie dog and another animal that's real big out here too. I know the black-footed ferret. I didn't even know those were out here.
Well, we don't have black-footed ferrets on the Pawnee
okay,
National Grassland, but we do have them on grasslands in North America. And that's a really interesting story because up until 1981, the black-footed ferret was thought to be extinct, and they found a population of them in Wyoming, just north of here. And when those few ferrets were discovered, scientists took them into captivity and started a breeding program. And since that time, they have reintroduced ferrets at 24 different locations across North America.
Wow.
And the way that prairie dogs are key to the success of the black-footed ferret, which is one of the most endangered species on the planet, is that prairie dogs make up 90% of a black-footed ferret's diet. So that's a lot of prairie dogs for a black-footed ferret to eat. The other way that they contribute to the success of black-footed ferret is they use the prairie dog's very complex system of burrows that are underground, and that's where black-footed ferrets raise their young and protect themselves from predators as well as the elements.
I think that's especially important for those of us who live in the city. We kind of look at prairie dogs as a nuisance, but they're really a key to the whole ecology coming together, right?
They are. They're very important for the functionality. Like I said, up to 150 different species relying on them for food, shelter, or habitat creation.
Awesome, Lynn. Thank you so much for sharing that info with us.